when you learn to ride these waves and work with them, right? Which is what tracking your cycle, other than being prepared for it, like, are we only being prepared for the bleed, or are we also being prepared for the changes in our physical needs, our emotional needs, like our energetic needs throughout the cycle, right? Okay, so just looking at this, having a little bit of information about the order of things. First, we're bleeding, then we have a little bit of time, and then our libido will start to build. We'll start to get some ovulation symptoms, which might be like sticky discharge, higher libido, feeling chatty, feeling pretty, feeling attractive, being more social, things that are like driving the chances of fertilization. And then that will end because these hormones will just kind of drop off and we'll switch into a different like type of like how we feel in our bodies because we've got different hormones flowing around. And then things will really start to spike and then that will drop off right in time for another cycle to begin. So just knowing that without having like the dates of like when should things happen, or knowing about like when should you be like high energy and when should you be like trying to be cozy, just seeing this flow, does that spark any insight into your own cycle or the cycles of those around you? I'm going to talk about tracking it all now. So, what I wish I had known earlier and started much earlier is keeping a journal or a diary where I track like by day. So, you like assign some really obvious day, whatever day comes around and you're like, yeah, this can be day one, as your day number one. So if that's the first day of menstruation, the first day that you need medication, the first day that you need to wear like a pad or a tampon, the first whatever. If it's more reliable to be like, nope, I'm ovulating. If it's more reliable to be like, yeah, my PMS started today, whatever it is, whatever is most consistent for you. And this is if you have any kind of cycle, if you have any kind of like fatigue cycle that you have to manage, or any kind of chronic illness that you have to manage, pick a day that is reliable that you can be like, yeah, the cycle is starting over right now. I can feel it. I can track it. Pick that as your day one. And then from there, just keep adding, like, and I'll show you because I started doing this late last year. I did it for about 7 cycles. Um, and I have been menstruating for almost 20 years. So I wish I would have had this information a long time ago. A lot of this information I actually already did have. I didn't learn anything specifically new out of this information except that I am incredibly chatty at ovulation. Incroyable. Okay, so that was information, but a lot of this information I already knew from having a regular cycle and being like, what is going on, and tracking it in my own way, which was less efficient when I was younger. But I wish I would have done this like from the beginning. Whatever day one is, have a page in your journal, in your period binder, that says day one, and you put the date and you write down your symptoms, and then you go to day two on the next day, whatever day it is, and then whatever day you roll over, you could have a, like I generally have a 24-day cycle, so then I'll put day one and I'll go back, put that date down in day one, and write my symptoms down in the day one page so that I can come through after time and see, okay, what's normal for me, and then be able to track what's not normal. If you have a fluctuating cycle, it can also be helpful to figure out key dates. Like, I know that in T minus 5 days to my day one, or the beginning of my menstrual cycle, I'm going to be crying about literally everybody I know being dead, and like everyone's healthy. Like, what? I'll be envisioning like a tornado touching down and ruining everyone's lives. Like, I don't live in a tornado area. What? Anyway, so once I recognize that at 12 years old, now it's very reliable. And even though I might be on a day that doesn't line up with starting my cycle in 5 days. I know that if I have these kind of thoughts, if I think a hawk is going to fly into my city window and steal my cat, okay, it's going to be 5 days away, okay? It's coming. So that is another way to use this information to begin to rely more on the signals and the consistency of your body than the calendar. Um, and then also, I wish I had started tracking again by day, but doing kind of long form calendars, like just listing out the dates all in a row and listing off the dates all in a row and booking off time that you know is going to be really volatile based on this information. Things I wish, um, uses I wish I would have used this information for more in my youth. The number one that's coming to my mind is the dentist, because when I am in my luteal phase and in my menstruation phase, I am my gums are going to bleed more, and I'm going to be more pain sensitive, and I'm not going to be able to handle any kind of dentistry. And I wish I would have keyed into that sooner and actively avoided and rescheduled appointments that fell within this range of my cycle, because they're just going to be like, well, do you know you're bleeding? It's like, well, I'm not usually bleeding, but I'm on my period, so I actually should not be here at this appointment with you right now, you know? Or if I have to have a first meeting with someone, I for sure want to have it in the 3 to 4 days before ovulation, and I do not want to have it in the 2 days after ovulation, because here I feel greasy and I feel ugly, but here I'm chatty and I'm fun and I'm personable and I'm cute and like all the pheromones are out, so like I'm attractive. Anyway, like that would just be useful, like for an introvert and someone that doesn't do well socially. I would have appreciated having this information at my hands through youth instead of now in my hermitage. But now you can have it, you know? So socializing. And then, yeah, if you are trying to like set intentions or like do personal bests at the gym, or like, you know what, I just need 2 weeks or like 10 days, 1 week to clean my shit, you're gonna focus that here in the first half of your cycle. So you're gonna get out of your menstruation and be like, yeah, I should probably start that now. I should probably start that now. And then in this building energy, just get it done. Don't hold yourself back, you know? Hit that personal best. You can do it, especially with the reward or the knowledge that you don't have to maintain that level of intensity, whatever you jump into. You just need to do it for the 5 days, the 7 days, the 2 weeks, whatever it is. And then you're going to take 2 weeks to do it at like a half level, like a 50% level, or to do different stuff. Like if you are doing like a deep clean here, maybe you are letting the laundry pile up here, and that's okay. Maybe you're doing your high intensity workout here, and then maybe you take some yoga classes and you just go on like walks in the forest in this phase, right? Like do some trade off. Let it ebb and flow, you know? Okay. Yeah, so like I'll put goals. And respecting cycles, right? Because if you're expecting yourself to recover from your high intensity workout in this week, the same way you did this week, you are setting yourself up for so much failure and so much disappointment and a lot of like self-judgment and shame. If you know someone that menstruates and you are expecting the same exact output of them, and it's a high output every single week, no variation, no change, you should be able to maintain, you are fooling yourself and you are setting everybody up for an environment that does not need to exist because it's not reality, okay? If you want to operate at the exact same level every week without fail, you need to lower the bar to a sustainable, like a 30 or a 40%. And then when needed, in crisis times, or like when you're trying to hit those personal bests, or you build it into your cycle, like into your work schedule, that you operate at like a comfy 30-40%, you get your shit done, and it's doable, and like you're not slacking, you're not regressing, and then you have these peaks of being able to hit that 100% consistently for a short amount of times, right? Like sprint energy, okay? So that's also what I wish I would have, like, overall, just learning the cycle and then respecting the cycle, like living within the cycle instead of trying to make the cycle fit like what my work schedule. No, like the cycle exists, work with it, you know? Okay. That is what I have to say about the menstruation cycle. Yay!